and welcome back to Marriage or Hell Nah. Fellas, I got a story to talk about. So here's the deal, fellas. Imagine you meeting a lady, you hanging out with her. Things are going well, and you can see yourself really going the distance with this one. And then it comes down to that time where you're thinking about making her the one. But all of a sudden, you bring up the word prenup, and now she's looking at you like this. The only thing I can say is that a prenup is always a good situation for fellas, but also keep in mind, it is not the end all be all. Shout out to all my day one subscribers, everybody who's new to the platform. I really appreciate all the love. Make sure that you guys stay in tune with the channel by liking the videos, as well as staying notified, because we know YouTube likes to hate. But feel free to follow me on the other social media platforms that are located down there in the description box. Without further ado, let's get into today's story time. Now, the title of this post, which is written by a woman, is called Fiance Pushing Me to Get a Prenup. Shout out to that man, and I'm pretty sure he's doing it for a good reason. And anytime you bring up the word prenup, you already know these chicks start looking at you like you lost your damn mind, but you just want to be able to protect yourself. And if you need further clarification, I suggest you look up a Steven Jackson video. Shout out to my man, Steven Jackson. Now she starts off, my fiance, 28-year-old male, and I, 32-year-old female, have been together since 2019 with a wedding less than 4 months away. The other day we were cuddling and we were talking about how excited we were to start our lives together when my fiance casually suggested that I get a prenup. I was confused at first because I thought he meant he wanted to get a prenup, but he got a little serious and clarified that I should get one. For info, my fiance is doing well and makes close to $200,000 a year. Me being a little older and a specialist in my field make closer to $600,000. Also, she one of these chicks who thinks that she's a boss babe. Now, there's a video out there that I think is on the Kendra G show where there's this guy and he's talking about he don't date a woman that makes over $60,000. When I saw that video, I was like, oh, right on. 60,000? What? I don't date a woman that makes over $50,000. I got my reasons, but I definitely would stay away from a woman who made 3 times as much as I did, and it's got nothing to do with insecurities. I know I might sound crazy, but personally, I don't believe in prenups. I always believe that a marriage is the two of us being partners in life and sharing everything until she decides that she wants to divorce your ass. Which we already know in this country, 50% of the time, you are more likely going to get a divorce. 80% of the time, the woman is the one that's going to file the divorce. I asked him why he would say that, and he said, it's just important to me to protect myself. Shout out to him. He's making the right moves. I told him that he's the love of my life and that it's okay for me to provide and spoil him. He didn't disagree, but went back to pushing me to get one just to be safe. I have never heard of a situation like this. So guys, if you have any advice, please help me here. I don't know what's gotten into him and why he's acting like this, but he won't say a word about it anymore because he's already said what he needs to say. And it seems like the brother may be in tune with some of the talking points that we cover, just so that men have the ability and the knowledge to be able to protect themselves. Now, fellas, let's get into the comment section to see how the fellas went about educating this woman as to why men should consider prenups. And then I'll come back for the close. So the first man chimes in and he goes, so why are you against it? Exactly. Doesn't really change anything. In case of divorce, you both keep your money and split everything you earn together during the marriage. As a man, I think he is doing smart thing. 146 people like that comment. Now, the next man steps up and he goes, prenups, in my opinion, like wills and life insurance, just make sense. All they do is protect each of your assets going into marriage. They aren't meant to be used to screw each other over. 82 likes on that one. Now, the next man chimes in. He goes, I think almost everyone should have a prenup unless they are truly financial equals. Most people think that they are marrying the love of their life. In closing, fellas, the only thing I'll say is simply this. If you are rocking with a woman and you've been with her for a while, and I mean a while, then you should consider marriage. But in this story, she told you that she had been with this guy for about 3 years. 3 years is not enough time to decide that you want to marry a woman because you haven't given yourself the proper amount of time to vet her. And we already know when marriages first start, things tend to go well. But like I said earlier, 50% of the time, you will have a divorce. Now, me, myself, if I was to ever get married, I would have to have a prenup. But also, gentlemen, keep in mind, just because you got a prenup does not mean that you are safe. A lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that a prenup is so ironclad that what they say on that piece of paper will not get contested. When you go into marriage and you have a prenup, that woman will more than likely contest that prenup, the validity of it. So keep in mind, if you ever decide to get married and you got a prenup, you need to have a bunch of money set aside for when she contests, because that doesn't mean that she's going to win. But at the end of the day, it's going to cost you a shit ton of money just to be able to defend what you both agreed to in the beginning. Until next time, choose wisely. And if you're going into marriage and you're saying, hey, I want a prenuptial agreement, that's a wise move. Until next time, fellas, I'm out. Peace.